Good afternoon, guys. Jamal here again, and welcome back to day 4 of Nickel Squash at Home. For those of you that didn't tune in to Arthur's workout this morning, the theme of the day is cutting the ball off, or in Arthur's words, cutting the ball off before it gets to the back wall. For today's video analysis, we'll be taking a look at the final of the 2018 Grasshopper Cup between Mohamed Shorbagy and Ramy Ashour. Mohamed Shorbagy is the current world number 1, and he's the owner of pretty much every major title. He's won the British Open 3 times, he's won the Qatar Classic 3 times, he's won the Tournament of Champions 3 times, he's won the US Open 3 times, and so on and so forth. Ramy is also the owner of pretty much every single major title, but unlike Mohamed, he's not quite as decorated because he's dealt with a chronic hamstring injury his entire career, pretty much since juniors. So in this match, once again, we're going to be focusing on cutting the ball off. I want you guys to comment down below, what does cutting the ball off mean to you? And how are you guys looking to do that in your matches? So before we actually get to that match, we're going to take a look at a personal favorite video of mine. It's from the 2014 World Series Squash Finals, which is kind of like the playoffs of squash. In this match, these guys had just broken the previous ball, so they were given a brand new ball, which is dead cold, very, very flat, and they're going to warm the ball up in record time. So let's take a look. So you can see how that ball barely bounces. So pretty much starting now, I want you guys to watch A, how far forward these guys are. B, technically speaking, what are they doing to ensure that they can actually play the ball not only early, but hit it accurately back to themselves and to their opponent. God, this is so impressive. I believe that was about 50 shots in 40 to 45 seconds. That ball is scalding hot now. So that's something that I want you guys to try to incorporate, not necessarily at this sort of rate or just playing this crazily, but I want you guys to note how early they're getting their rackets up, how they're watching the ball into their strings, they're nice and stable, and the racket head is going through the zone. All right, let's get on to the Grasshopper Cup match. So in this match, if I remember correctly, I believe this is the last tournament that Ramy ever won. Going into this match, he came in, I think, outside the top 10 because he was out from injury. But it's kind of like his swan song. He basically got everything together. It's the last time his body held up fully. And yeah, he, not to spoil the ending, but he absolutely dominated this match. Just basically to show what he's capable of doing when he's somewhat healthy. During this match, I want you guys, or I guess this first game of this match, I want you guys to count how many times these guys let the ball go to the back wall. As I said, Arthur's theme of the day is cutting the ball off before it gets to the back wall. I want you guys to count how many times it actually makes its way back there. So we're 2 rallies in, and this is pretty much unprecedented for play at this level. We're 2 rallies in, and not a single ball is going to the back wall. These guys are once again very sparky, looking to take the ball super early. The reason why is if you can take the ball early, that means that you're probably not getting displaced from the tee all that often. If you're taking the ball off the back wall, obviously you have to vacate the tee to go to the back, which allows your opponent to then get forward. And unless you play a super high or super tight shot, your opponent can then get on the next ball early and put you under a ton of pressure. That's the first one. And the second one. It's very quickly. We talk about cutting the ball off, and generally speaking, that implies that you're obviously taking the ball early, but a lot of people assume that means that you're going to be playing at a super like breakneck pace. That's something that I like to tell my kids. To me, at least, there's a big difference between playing at a fast pace and a fast tempo. Now, it just so turns out that these guys are doing both, but you don't necessarily have to hit the ball hard when you're cutting the ball off. You can hit let's say, a soft volley drop. You can play a cross court lob. Let's say when you take the ball after playing the ball off your, let's say, back leg going to the back corners. So you don't necessarily have to hit the ball super hard. Just taking the ball early will take time away from your opponents. Once again, keep them away from the tee. It'll let you get to the tee, and then you're in the driver's seat. Our very own Peter Nichols, I'd say probably the best or the greatest player at cutting the ball off. He's looking to really take the ball super early. He didn't really hit the ball super hard, just took the ball very early, which made life so uncomfortable for his opponents. Great shot by Ramy. Next ball, taken nice and early. Once again, not hit very hard, but taken early, which allows him, as we can see, to maintain control of the tee. Great length. Good lift by Mohamed to get out of trouble. Great finish by Shorbagy. So technically speaking, what these guys are doing extraordinarily well, both of these guys, they're employing the split step. They're very upright, but not overly upright when they get to the tee. They're nice and strong. They're balanced, and there's definitely some flow, I guess, to their movement. Sorry about that. There's some flow to their movement. Personally, I know we went over Raneem's movement yesterday. I would say that Ramy looks similar, or most similar to Raneem with her flow and her rhythm out of these two. Great straight drive and amazing finish by Mohamed. So let's actually go back to that. We can see that Mohamed plays. Let me slow this down a little bit. Mohamed plays a very good length, glued to the sidewall. We can see that ball is literally on the sidewall when Ramy plays his shot. And Ramy, as talented as he is, there isn't really much he can do when the ball is glued to the sidewall. So he tries to lift his way out of trouble, but unfortunately the ball comes out a bit looser. We can see Mohamed once again, very strong, a bit upright on the tee line. He knows that Ramy has one option, which is to go straight. So in his mind, he's going to think, I'm going to go into attack mode. If that ball is remotely loose, I'm going to take it as early as possible and play it into that open court into the front left. As we can see, now once again he's cutting across the tee line, which was the theme for Tuesday. Ramy is way behind him, front left corner is open and available, lets the racket head or the leading edge of the racket go through towards his target, which is right there. And that is bread and butter. Ramy's nowhere near it. Great lift by Ramy. I just love the intent, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try hard to not geek out a bit too much on this match here. But what I love with these guys, obviously, the quality of their hitting is amazing. The pace that they're playing at is great, but the intent, you can see that once again, like Mohamed right now is in mid split step. They're not kind of taking it easy on any shot. It's anything that's remotely loose. They're trying to pounce on it, trying to take it early. So it kind of goes back to what I said a few videos ago. Very first thing is mindset. You can physically get to the tee, but if you're not actively thinking about taking the ball early, if you're not actively thinking about volleying, if you're not actively thinking about maintaining or trying to up the pace, then very simply, you're not going to do it. These guys are actually, you can see with their positioning, with their body movement, with everything else, we can see that these guys are looking to take every single ball early. Amazing shot by Ramy. That ball's taken early once again. Let's him get back to the tee quickly. Great shut up by Mohamed. That's a beautiful shot. Alright, so let's go back to that actually. Even though Remy lost the rally, there's a little combination there that we saw that I would love to show you guys again. It's Remy and his trademark Cobra-esque um, backhand return to serve. So you can see in this shot, takes the ball super early, follows it up, and once again you can see he's just completed a split step. He's a nice wide base. He's going to push across, knowing that Mohamed is obviously playing across court. Instead of coming back here in this diagonal to take the ball behind the back of the service box, Remy looks to cut across the tee line, if not slightly in front of the tee line, to take the ball super early. By the time he plays his backhand volley, Mohamed is basically now coming out of his deep lunge. He's out of position. The entire left side of the court is open. So as we can see, once again, Mohamed is backing out. Ramy is cut across the tee line beautifully. You see that's a beautiful position right there. Plays a nice short punch volley drive down the wall. Mohamed is forced to play a very defensive shot afterwards. So even though he makes the error, once again, we can see that his hips are aligned to the side wall. Racket's ready. Unfortunately, he just aims a bit too low, but he did everything technically correct there. Alright, let's speed it up again. Yalla. That ball's taken so early by both guys. Onto that ball super early. Same thing, cuts across T-line. Beautiful backhand volley drive. Ah, perfect width. Phew. So even on returns of serves, once again, you can see Mohamed, he's stepping, you can see how far forward he is. A big mistake that I see with a lot of juniors is they tend to hang, kind of back in this area when they're returning serve. You can see with Mohamed pushing forward so far, A is cutting off his opponent's angle on the serve, so anything that doesn't get to the side wall will be pounced on and volleyed. But also we can see that there's clearly intent. He looks like he's hunting the ball right here, as opposed to being passive and once again hanging back. So we can see this is a little bit open, but racket is set nice and early. Racket head eventually goes towards his target. Rolled out. Boom. So severe. Beautiful shot. That is a shot of the month right there. So let's actually go back to that. Slow this down. So yes, obviously hitting the ball behind the back is spectacular. It's grand, has some flair, but once again, it's all set up with the movement onto the ball and the intent to take the ball early. So Ramy plays a very good wrong footing 2-all boast that Mohamed is forced to get before it bounces twice. Mohamed, which is very, I guess, customary of English players. Mohamed, for those that don't know, even though he's Egyptian, he's been training in England for, I don't know, the last 13, 14, 15 years roughly. So he's definitely picked up this shot from the Brits. Anyway, so Ramy gets forward and he looks to cut off the cross court, which most players would be forced to play. Mohamed, knowing that Ramy is going to want to cut across this way, plays a very smart shot up the middle of the court to I guess trick Ramy or to kind of catch him off guard. Ramy, being Ramy, the artist that he is, even though he commits to the cross court over here, is still able to play a behind the back volley, as you can see here. Sets his feet, plays behind the back volley with pace, once again cuts the ball off, takes it super early. Winner. Boom. Words sound familiar? Intent, guys? Great line of length by both players. Okay, so we saw Ramy do that early in the match. Unfortunately, I personally think technically he kept his racket face a little bit closed on that shot, but did the right things. Everything else, movement-wise, technically amazing. So let's just go back a few seconds. So this time Ramy puts in the working 2-all boast on the backhand side as opposed to the forehand side last time. But same exact thing. Mohamed, because he's late onto the ball, has to play across court because the ball is so far in front of him. Ramy knows this, so once again, same exact position. He's just completed his split step, nice wide base. He's going to cut across the T line, look to play that punch volley drive, which is going to put Mohamed under so much pressure. He does that, unfortunately, snatches a little bit, keeps his racket face closed, the ball goes down. Great left by Ramy. As you guys can probably hear, the pace has gone up and just hear the ball coming up that front wall with a lot more bite to it. Patented Ramy backhand volley cross court neck. That's a great shot by Mohamed. So this goes back to a pattern that we saw from him, I believe, in the second or third rally. Once he hits the good, dying, penetrating length of the backhand corner, he knows that Ramy is forced to play straight and has to lift. If Ramy doesn't lift the ball well enough, Mohamed's on that ball super early, plays the backhand volley drop into the open area. Done. See if we can see a replay of that. Cuts across the tee line beautifully, takes it in severely. Beautiful. So this is going to take about 30 seconds, so let's actually skip ahead a little bit. So, as much of a Ramy fanboy as I am, they somehow overturned that call from a no-let into a stroke, which I'm not going to lie, I disagree with. That is a no-let. A let at best, but most likely a no-let. A stroke, I don't agree with that. But it is what it is. You can see Mohamed looking a bit incredulous, and the commentators agree as well. Oh god, that is beautiful. Let's go back to that. Let's give Mohamed a little taste of his own medicine there. So same exact thing. Plays a nice serve, gets a loose return, gets in the ball super early, flattens the neck on the forehand side. You can also see how Ramy's movement after he plays that aggressive cross court draw from the backhand side, that his body weight, his weight is actually going towards the tee as he completes his shot. Gets the loose ball. Once again, we can see how far forward he is. He's not going backwards. He's cutting across the tee line. Racket's ready. Head is still. Ball zooms in. Good night. Shorbagy's starting to up the pace as well. A little bit of a makeup call. Alright, so we're going to skip this. As we can see, it was kept as a stroke. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. Now that shot there, I'm going to go back to that. That is something, and that's, I guess, what I admire so much about Ramy. There are certain things that he does that you just can't teach. In fact, even if I could, I definitely wouldn't want to teach if you guys how to do it. So let's go back to the backhand volley drop that he plays. So the one thing that you guys can take from that is the intent with the movement. He's looking to take the ball early. He cuts across, takes it nice and early. But the actual shot itself is, it's not human. Like that ball's dipping. It's on the sidewall. I'd say the smart shot there would be to lift the ball straight or play a nice high, wide cross court to get Mohamed off the tee and to get him into the back corners. Ramy being Ramy somehow manages to play, not only play a drop shot, but a very good drop shot off that. But once again, something that we can see is this amazing position. He's going in on his quote unquote wrong leg, the left leg on the backhand side, but he's nice and stable, very balanced. Hips are facing the sidewall. Racket's ready. It's just not fair, really. Alright, now let's speed it up again. It's a great volley drop by Mohamed. And as we said, a stroke. So let's go back to that. So I guess for me, the word that really comes to mind when I think about cutting the ball off, and you guys probably heard me say this about 5 or 6 times so far in this video, intent. So same thing. Ramy's played once again his typical pattern. He's played his nice, good working boast. He knows that Mohamed's forced to play cross court because of where the ball is in his stance. You can see how far forward the ball is in relation to his front foot. So Ramy is going to, he's actually in front of the tee line, but you can see his racket's ready. He's ready to pounce. This is such an aggressive movement. So sorry, positioning by Ramy. So with his racket ready, it basically if he can get his racket on the ball, he's going to play the ball into the open space. Mohamed's stuck in this lunge. It's probably going to be the end of the rally. So Mohamed once again plays his shot up the middle. Ramy once again having knowledge of his opponents. He knows that, so he's in a position where he's not I guess weighted too far over to the forehand side. He's nice and neutral to cut off the shot through the middle just in case, which Mohamed does hit. Let's go back just a fraction. It's a good boast. That's perfect. So once again, nice and balanced after the split step. Sees the ball coming through the middle. Gets his racket up in time. Mohamed is clearly in his swing. Easy stroke. Mohamed decides to review because why not? Yep, stroke all day. Alright, so that was the first game of the final of the 2018 Grasshopper Cup between Ramy Ashour, aka the Maverick or the Artist, and Mohamed Shorbagy, aka the Beast of Alexandria. I want you guys to comment down below, who you guys think is going to win the match. I'm going to actually leave the link for this full match in the description, so if you would like to check it out, feel free to click on that. And B, how you guys are going to technically and tactically look to cut the ball off more in your own games. Once again, this has been day 4 of Nickel Squash at Home. I'm Jamal. Feel free to email me at jamal@nicklesquash.com if you have any questions. And looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. All right, take care, guys.